Hi, my name's Jerry. I'm a twin troller boat owner and a lifelong fisherman. And a little while ago, several weeks, I ordered a brand new set of pedals for my twin troller boat. I told you when they arrived, I would show me unboxing them, and they've arrived. So let's do that. First, I want to just clarify something in case you saw a posting that I did on our Facebook group for the twin troller. Yesterday, I posted something in reference to somebody else's post, and I made a comment that I ordered my pedals 26 days ago and hadn't heard a single thing. I chose not to contact Freedom Electric because I promised you I would give you an accurate representation of what it was like to order these pedals, to go through the process, and how the pedals compare to the old ones and how the new ones work. So for the first time in those 26 days, I made a comment on that Facebook group that said I hadn't received my pedals, I hadn't heard anything, no tracking, no emails, no contact whatsoever. Well, the very next morning, this morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, I got an email from them with a tracking number. I kind of questioned it a little. Was this as a result of my making a comment on that Facebook group? Well, 3 hours later, I got a knock on the door, and it was UPS ground dropping off my package. Well, if you've ever used UPS ground, it doesn't come in 3 hours. You couldn't even overnight it in 3 hours. So if I gave the impression that I thought maybe something was up, that's not true. They just, for whatever reason, didn't get a tracking number to me in kind of a timely manner, because clearly it was dropped off to be shipped days ago. So let's go on, just so that there's no confusion, and let's look at the pedals. Here's the new ones, still in the box. You can see I've not opened them. I'm gonna open them with you. Here's my old pedals. Now these pedals are, next month will be 8 years old. They still work fine. I don't have any issues with them. You can see they get used quite a bit. They're kind of filthy, but I just decided to try the new ones, and that's what we did. So I have a postal scale here. I've got a tape measure here. I've got a cutter so I can open the box. So I'm going to give you dimensions, and I'm going to give you weights so you can compare one set of pedals to the old ones. And let's just see what it's like. All right, let's open up the box. Well, they look like they're padded quite well, so it looks like they're boxed pretty well. Big foam thing here. Hoping that you can see this. All right, 2 sets of connectors. One end will go on the old connectors, the old cables that are in the boat, and the other end will go on the bottom, or the back side, I should say, of the pedals. They're wrapped in plastic. Little piece of paper with instructions. Hopefully I can hold this up to you. Maybe you can slow it down and read it if you choose to do that. The other side is blank. It says when you plug in the pedals to the wiring harness, please wait 10 to 12 seconds before engaging the motors. Both wiring harness plugs need to be plugged into the pedals in order for the pedals to work. So you can't have one plugged in, one can't. If you press the pedals down and the motors do not engage, unplug the pedals, wait 5 seconds, then plug them back in, waiting the necessary 10 to 12 seconds before engaging them again. While the pedals are waterproof and protected against the elements, it is still recommended that you store the pedals in a cool, dry place when not in use. Please consult your owner's manual for full care instructions. If you have any questions at all, please contact customer care, and it gives you the contact information. All right, here's the big reveal. They look pretty nice. They're very quiet, as opposed to the old ones. It looks similar to the bottom of the other ones. I'll flip the other ones over in a second. And it's got caps on the connectors. Here it is this way. Here it is this way. Here it is this way. Hope you can see that. Now, this is a postal scale, and it's very accurate. Let me turn it on. Okay, it's zeroed out. Let me turn it this way, see if you can see. They weigh 7 pounds, 4.2 ounces. 7 pounds, 4.2 ounces. Let me zero it out again, putting it back on, and I'm adding the connectors. 7 pounds, 12.4 ounces. 7 pounds, 12.4 ounces. So that's the complete new addition to the boat, as opposed to what the old ones weighed. Let me take these off, I'll get the other ones. Just so you can see my old ones. Like I said, they're kind of dirty. Here's the connectors on the back. I don't know if the new ones use these little plastic things. That's what holds it in place. The bottom looks like the new ones. The backs, sides, other side. As you can see, these things are noisy. It's one of the reasons why I decided I wanted to do something with the new ones. So that's zeroed. And the new ones weigh 7 pounds, 13.8 ounces. 7 pounds, 13.8 ounces. So what's the difference between the two? The old ones are heavier by 2 ounces. The new ones weigh 2 ounces less, and that includes the 2 connectors. So not too much different, just a little. Let's measure some dimensions though. How long are these connectors? They're just about 8.5 inches long. How wide are the pedals? The new pedals are just about 16.5 inches wide. The old pedals are about 14.5. So the new pedals, now I'm talking about the base, not the top. The new pedal base is about 2 inches wider than the old one was. But the pedals themselves are a little bit 14.25, say. The new pedals are wider at the bottom and not so wide at the top. The top, they're a little bit more than 13 inches. The bottom, they're a little bit more than 14 inches. So the pedals themselves are just a less than an inch difference between the two. How about height? Now, these are not in the hole like they would be on the boat, but they are consistent with each other. In other words, they're just sitting here on a flat surface, and I'm going to try to measure them from here. The front of the pedals are 8 inches high. Old pedals were just shy of 9 inches. So the old pedals are about 3/4 of an inch higher than the old pedals were. And I want to measure the back end. These are 3 inches to the base. The old ones are about 3.25. So dimension-wise, they're pretty close to each other. Now, one thing to take into account, in my mind, these things are flexible, but not really flexible. In other words, you can't bend them. I wouldn't want to try and bend it in half. Maybe you can, I just don't know. When the old pedals were connected, the connector stuck out about this far, and then the cable is pretty flexible and you could bend it or twist it or whatever you wanted to do pretty easily. So to me, they only stuck out about here and then you could make a bend. These, the new ones, unscrew this. There's a cap on one end of this one. And I recognize the look of the old one to be the end that does not have the cap on it. So this is going to go into the existing cable, power cable that's on your boat. This other end is going to get screwed into here. On this new one, there's a wider gap here, and then a small gap and a small gap. So when you look at the pedals themselves, the widest gap, if you can see this, is down here on the bottom. So that wide end should go down here, and then you screw it in. Let me show you something. This is the other cable. See the red ring around there? That's an O-ring, so that's making a seal into the new pedals. That's why you're screwing it in, it pulls it in tight. We'll have to look at how this connects on the other end to the existing cables in the boat. We can do that when we get out to the boat. Why did I do this part? Something I wanted to show you. This is really about 18 inches out to here, from here to base of the pedal. And then the old connector is probably this much longer on top of that. So if that's 19 inches, then I add a couple of inches, it's probably 22 inches or so. We'll know when we get to the boat. For the total length from the base of the foot to the connector, the old ones, here's the base of the foot out to where the connector is about 10 inches. And then let's say we add 2 inches or so, you're about 13. So that's about 22 inches total length. This is about 13 inches with the old connector, say, on it. And I'm guessing at the length of the connector because I don't have it here in front of me. What's my initial observations at this point? One of my issues that I disliked the old ones is the noise. The new ones, that noise you're hearing is just me bottoming it out, but that's when you're moving the pedals, it doesn't sound like anything. When you're moving these, this aluminum frame really rattles. I like that idea. So forward and backwards, these are pretty quiet. And considering these sit on the bottom of the boat, right on the hull, with these, all that noise is being transferred through the bottom of the hull and into the water. And the fish are saying, hey, what are you doing up there? You're making all that noise over the top of my house. Does it make a lot of difference? I think so, to the fish anyway. So what are we gonna do next? I wanna show these in the boat. So I wanna connect them to the boat. We'll wait the 10 to 12 seconds and then we'll try them and make sure they work. Why do you think that you have to wait 10 to 12 seconds compared to these had no wait? My guess is these, the new ones, have electronics in there that when you first plug them in, just like your computer is booting up something, there's got to be some kind of electronics in there that take a couple of seconds to get up to speed. So that's okay with me. I can wait that long. Just so you also know, even though these lasted so long, these rarely get unplugged. And I know Freedom Electric recommends that you unplug them, you put them in some kind of place. I store my boat in a garage, it's dry. I leave them in the beginning. I used to take them out many years ago, and then I just decided, why bother? So I don't, and I've not had any issues at all. And I suspect these are gonna be the same way. Now, if I went down some kind of road that was so bumpy, dirt road to get to a boat launch someplace that I was afraid these were bouncing around in the boat, I'd probably unplug them. If I'm going someplace, which I rarely do, into a store or a restaurant with the boat on the back, I'd probably put these inside. I just don't want to deal with that issue, so I would take them in. Okay, what are we going to do now? Give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to have to go and set these up and all the cameras and everything over where the boat is, and then we'll do that there. Okay. I'm here at the boat. Let's put the pedals in. Now, it's a little windy out, so sometimes you hear the wind noise. Please bear with me. So here's the old pedals. I just pull those out. I'll take this, get it out of the way. Here's the connectors. The new pedals, they fit right in there. Well, those work pretty good. All right, let's get these out of the way. I don't know if you can see this too well. There's a white dot in that larger square there. That goes on the bottom. And then you turn this until it's in pretty tight to make it waterproof. It's a little bit tight getting your fingers in there, but I did it. This one, there's the white dot. So the white dot goes on the bottom, and then you can feel it slide into the slot. Okay. All right, I'm all the way in. Here's the old plug. And it just slides into the old place. There it goes. And this one, we gotta wait 20 seconds or so. All right, I'd say that's 20 seconds. Let's go with this one. Hopefully you can hear that. Okay, they both work forward, reverse. Cool, we're in. The next comes, I'm gonna take the boat, put it in the water, and we're gonna try the pedals in the water so that you can see for yourself how they go, what difference it makes, and at least that way you can make an opinion for yourself. Right now, even though it's kind of far along in hurricane season ends the last day of the month in November, and they're telling us we got another one coming into the Gulf. And there's some steering currents that are gonna push it right to Florida. I'm in Central Florida, Kissimmee area, so I may have another one coming, but irregardless, it'll be windy for the next week or so, and I'm not gonna take the boat out on a day that it's really bad wind. I wanna take it out on a calm day so I can show you things and we can try it out. I may not get to the third part of this video for another week or so. I'll get there as soon as I can, but I may be delayed. I hope this was of some interest to you if you're thinking about buying these. Geez, they look great. They work good, and I'm happy so far. Let's get them in the water next and see how they go. Give me some feedback. Any questions, put them below. Thanks for watching. Bye now.